Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Right, our teacher for this week is Thich Nhat Hanh. And today's message from Thich Nhat Hanh is about awareness. Awareness, we could call it presence, and how easily we let that slip and we're on some kind of an autopilot instead of being somewhat aware. Sunmary, good morning. Beatrix, good morning. Pat, a very good morning. Hello. Anthony, good morning. And Sunmary, a very good morning. I think I saw Danae already, can't remember, but good morning to all the beautiful people. Let's get into today's message. We are often on some kind of autopilot, going through the motions in our work, in our relationships, being more connected really to the fears and insecurities in our minds than to the actual actions that we're busy taking. Thich Nhat Hanh invites us to switch off the autopilot as he gently nudges us towards presence. The first thought from Thich Nhat Hanh is, first, let us light the torch of our awareness and learn again how to drink tea, eat, wash dishes, walk, sit, drive, and work in awareness. Charlene, good morning. Happy Saturday morning to you. We do not have to be swept along by circumstances. We are not just a leaf or a log in a rushing river. With awareness, each of our daily acts takes on a new meaning, and we discover that we are more than machines, that our activities are not just mindless repetitions. We find that life is a miracle, the universe is a miracle, and we too are a miracle. Thich Nhat Hanh says, each time you look at a tangerine, you can see deeply into it. You can see everything in the universe in one tangerine. When you peel it and smell it, it's wonderful. You can take your time eating a tangerine and be very happy. If we are not mindful, it's not tea that we are drinking, but our own illusions and afflictions. I love that thought so much. If we're not mindful, it's not actually tea that we're drinking. We are just, with every sip of the cup, drinking more of our own illusions and afflictions. If the tea becomes real, we become real. When we are able to truly meet the tea, at that very moment, we are truly alive. Maggie, a very good morning. Happy Saturday to you. He says, drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the world revolves. Slowly, evenly, without rushing towards the future. The last thought, he says, peace, happiness, and joy is possible in the time that I drink my tea. If we are not mindful, then it's not really the tea that we are drinking. We don't even really taste it because we are mindlessly lifting a cup to our mouth while we are still much more involved with our own inner illusions and afflictions than with the contents of this cup. My favorite line of his is, when the tea becomes real, we become real. Because in that moment, we have stepped out of our patterns and into presence, potentially making ourselves available to what this moment presents to us. This is, of course, not just about tea, but about everything we do. We so easily siphon off our energy to the future or the past, where we have no agency at all, leaving us with less energy to apply ourselves right here in the moment that we are actually creating the future. Today's meditation is the regular Saturday meditation called Come to Your Senses, just because the practice of paying attention to our senses is exactly what he's talking about when he says the cup of tea. The cup of tea is how we engage our senses with this cup instead of just staying in our mind and not even realizing there's a cup until it's empty. If you're ready, you can close your eyes And let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, then let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Our journey today is about checking in with this body and its physical senses. So we'll start the checking in right now. While you continue with your full body breathing, rising with every inhale and slowly falling with every exhale, bring your attention to your forehead, to the space between your eyes. Do you sometimes find yourself carrying a frown there? And right now, are you making sure that that space is calm and present? No frown. With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to the area in and around your mouth. Do you sometimes find that perhaps your tongue gets pressed hard against the roof of your mouth? Or you grind your teeth, or your jaw muscles are clenched tight? And if or when that happens, do you have a conversation with this body? Do you let this body know that it would be okay to be soft? It would be okay to soften. With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to your shoulders. Do you sometimes find that they're tight and bunched up, pulled high next to your ears? And in those moments, do you remind yourself to take a few big breaths? Do you roll out your shoulder muscles and remind this body to soften? With your next exhale, bring your attention to your stomach area, to your abdominal muscles. And this really is where we hold on to tension the most, because it hides there without us even being aware of how tight our tummy has become. In those moments, do you have a conversation with this body? Do you let this body know that it is safe to be soft? And lastly, bring your attention to your arms and your legs, particularly your hands, because they are also an area where tension hides in our tightly clenched fists without us being aware of it. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, continuing to help this body to stretch, adjust, and settle down. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. You can lean your upper body over to the left, and also lean your upper body over to the right. Bring your left shoulder just a tiny bit closer to your left hip. And then bring your right shoulder just a tiny bit closer to your right hip. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. And if you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a really good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. As you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, take a moment to acknowledge this body. This body with all of its marvelous senses that we will explore right now. Could you wrap your arms around this body? Could you say to this body, "Hello body, I really love having you." Take your next big breath. Our journey of the senses starts at the top with our eyes and then works its way through our body. First stop, yes, our eyes. And for this exercise, we don't open them, we keep them closed. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, use your mind to find what your eyes would see. If you were to open your eyes, what would be the most obvious thing you'd see? With your eyes closed, as you hold your breath for a moment, study this obvious thing with your mind. See it from all of its angles, see all of its color, and find all of its texture. Take your next big breath. Then we'll change gears and still staying with what we can see, but this time, as you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, this time find what would be the least obvious thing in your room for you to see if you were to open your eyes. Take a moment, search your room with your mind, and find a less obvious thing. And then see it from all its angles, see all of its color, study all of its texture. Take your next big breath. I ask that my eyes always give me a reminder to be present, to be engaged with what needs my attention here and now, instead of being so engaged with the fear and anxiety in my mind. We take a step down to our ears and what we can hear. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, bring your attention to the most obvious sound that you can hear. And then listen deep into this obvious sound. See if you're able to find the different vibrational tones within this obvious sound. Take your next big breath. And then we'll change gears with your next big breath as you dive deep into you. Bring your attention to the faintest sound that you can hear. Listen deep into this faint sound and see if you can amplify those sounds in your mind. Take your next big breath. ask that my ears always give me the reminder to be present. Remind me to switch off the autopilot and become engaged with what I'm dealing with right here, right now, instead of being more engaged with my own fears and illusions. We'll take another step down, and for these next 2 stops, turn up the dial on your curiosity, because the next 2 stops are slightly harder to do in a meditation like this if you don't have something physical to taste or smell. So the next stop is your nose and what you could smell, and be curious about, could you pick up any smell right now? Take your next big breath. And then be curious about whether it might be possible to pick up any other smell besides the first obvious one. Take your next big breath. I'm asking my nose to remind me regularly to switch off the autopilot and not go through actions without having any awareness of the actions. Please help remind me to be present here and available to whatever it is I'm dealing with right now. Another step down to your mouth, to your taste buds, and dig deep on that curiosity now, because this one's even tougher with nothing physical to taste. But with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, be curious. Is there an obvious taste you can find right now? Take your next big breath. We'll change gears, and one more time as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you. Would it be possible to find any other taste besides the first, more obvious one? Take your next big breath. It's so easy to eat without tasting. I'm sure you've had these moments too of seeing that the thing you were going to eat is no longer in your plate and trying to remember, did I eat this? I can't even remember tasting it. Let my taste buds be a constant reminder to be more involved with the actions that I'm taking right now than being involved with the insecurities and anxieties in my mind. We have one more stop to do. The surface of our skin. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, scan the surface of your skin and find where is the most obvious sensation. And then dive in there. Feel all of it, all the different pressures and sensations right there. Take your next big breath. We change gears one more time. This time scan the surface of your skin and find where it is that you can feel the slightest sensation. Perhaps you can just feel fabric rest on skin. Or perhaps you can feel the air touch your cheek or your forehead. Take your next big breath. Let my sense of touch also be a constant reminder to switch off the autopilot. It is so easy to go through the motions, go through action after action, and never be engaged with the actual action. Let my sense of touch be a reminder to be here, now, involved with what I'm dealing with here and now. We have the last five, not yet last five, but the last couple of breaths of this phase to do together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every fiber of your being. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you one more time. Thich Nhat Hanh's message for us today. He said, first, let us light the torch of our awareness and learn again how to drink tea, how to eat, wash dishes, walk, sit, drive, and work in awareness. Light the torch of your awareness and do everything in awareness. We do not have to be swept along by circumstances. We are not just a leaf or a log in a rushing river. With awareness, each of our daily acts takes on a new meaning, and we discover that we are more than machines, that our activities are not just mindless repetitions. We find that life is a miracle, the universe is a miracle, and we too are a miracle. Each time you look at a tangerine, you can see deeply into it. You can see everything in the universe in one tangerine. When you peel it and smell it, it's wonderful. You can take your time eating a tangerine and be very happy. If we are not mindful, it's not the tea that we are drinking, but our own illusions and afflictions. If the tea becomes real, we become real. When we are able to truly meet the tea, at that very moment, we are truly alive. So drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the world evolves. Slowly, evenly, without rushing towards the future. Peace, happiness, and joy is possible in the time that I drink my tea, says Thich Nhat Hanh. This is of course not just about tea, but about everything we do. We very easily siphon off our energy into the future or into the past, where we have no agency at all. And the more energy we spend way into the future or way into the past, the less energy we are left with to apply ourselves right here in this moment where we are actually creating the future. Let our senses be a daily reminder to be more involved with the actual actions we are taking than with the distractions in our minds. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for this body and all of its amazing senses. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for this amazing mind, which really is a double-edged sword. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how this amazing mind, while it has the ability to apply focus, to apply attention, to apply creative action more than any other organism on the planet. It also has the ability to provide distraction and complete absentness. Such a double-edged sword. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to have patience with both these sides of my mind. How to have love, acceptance for how amazing this mind is when it's applied in concentration, but also really how amazing this imagination is, even when it's prone to wandering off in unhelpful directions. I love having a human mind so much that I don't mind running after it and collecting it back to the present moment again and again. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being a part of our journey today. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Beatrix. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you have a bit of fun this weekend and also enough rest. Lots of love to you all. Ciao, ciao.